so welcome to my vlog and please be with me on this video kasi mag-unbox tayo ng Dark Flash. This is a Twister BX240 and it's an ARGB. So the color of it is pink. So let's see what's inside of it. So this is a liquid cooler pala guys for CPUs, the computer. So let's see what are the items included on the package. So this is it. Let's open it up. There you go. So we have like a bracket backplate for Intel, and if ever you have already like an AMD, you don't need that backplate, but you just need to install this brackets to the pump so that it would fit. So next item, it's a small screw in order for us to install the radiator to the CPU fan. The long one is for the fan to be installed to the radiator. Next item is a power cord extension for the 4-pin fan connector. So it's a 4-pin fan connector. Then the additional screws for the radiator to the CPU case. And another set for the fan to the radiator. There you go. And last but not the least, the thermal paste or thermal grease. Alright, so next item to check is the fan. So let's open this up and see what's the cables or the connectors of the cables for their fans. There you go, the color is pink and it looks good. So with the cables, it has two 3 pins RGB connector. One is female and one is male, and the third cable is for the fan. So it's a 4-pin fan connector, CPU fan connector. There you go. So that's the female RGB 5 volts 3 pins. So the back face of the fan. And it also includes the installation guide. Alright, so much more for the fan. So let's check out the radiator and the pump, water pump. Let's open it up and check the cables for the water pump. There you go. So it has a SATA connector for the power of the RGB lights, and also one female RGB 5 volts 3 pin and one male RGB 3 pins 5 volts. There you go. There is the fourth cable. I think it's for the reset one. But yeah, I'm not sure where to install it or plug it, but it can still work even though we will not plug it. So that's how big the pump is. I'll place it on my hands. There is it. It's very big, so it can cool your processor in a very short span of time. Next thing is to check the radiator. Let's open it up. There you go. So the color is still pink with a brand each side of it. and it's kind of flat, so it's not shiny. So right now we need to strategize, like how are we going to place the fans depending on the um, location where are we going to place the radiator. So yeah, we need to strategize where should the cable should face. Should be on the left side or right side. So let me just figure it out. Then I decided that it should be placed on the left side since I will be placing it on the top of my CPU case. So that's it. That's fine now. So we're gonna screw it already. Let me open this long screws, star screws. Just bear with me. All right. So we're gonna speed up the video so that we can finish installing the fans as soon as possible. So speed up in 3, 2, 1, and go. There you go. We're all set. So we need to test the pump and the fans if it's working before disassembling the existing fans of my CPU. There you go. So we need to check the fan headers of your motherboards. So that's mine, CPU fan and CPU fan 1 and the CPU fan 2. So since the CPU fan 2 is available, we're just gonna place it there. So let's get the extension wire for the fan, CPU fan connector. So that's a 4-pin. There you go. All right. So just so you know, the one with the white color, it can check the RPM of your fan or the RPM of your pump. So we're gonna place it there so that we can see if on the computer if the pump is spinning or not. So there, chassis fan 2, there's a reading of 2,626 RPM. So it means it's working. Then we'll check the fan 1, and there's a reading of 1,824 RPM, so it means that it's working. Fan 2, let's see the RPM of it. There you go, so it's 1,979 RPM. Next is to disassemble the existing all-in-one water cooler, which is a 120 mm only, so single fan. We're gonna remove it and replace it with the 240 mm. So the cons of this CPU cooler, before you install this, you need to remove the existing backplate of yours because they will gonna require you to install its own backplate. So right now I'm gonna return the stack backplate for this. So this is my processor. So it's a Ryzen 5 5600G. There you go. I'm gonna place it back after cleaning using an alcohol. and remove the existing thermal case. So again, I'm gonna install the stock backplate back. So that's the pros of the twister dark flash. It's because you don't need to remove the backplate if it's an AMD, but if it's an Intel, I think you need to remove the backplate because it has its own backplate that you need to use. And there you go. We'll just need to install the frames or bracket on the pump. Just need to place it there and screw it up. There you go. So later, we're gonna place it already on the motherboard. But first, we need to install the radiator on the CPU case, so it will be less hassle when we install the pump on the processor. So again, the two sets of short screwdrivers, star screwdrivers, should be placed on the CPU case to attach the radiator. There you go. So don't forget to remove the plastic cellophane on the water pump before placing it on the CPU or your processor. There you go. So we need to place the thermal grease already. There you go. And we are ready to attach the pump. Next is send all those cables at the back, and the next part of this video is how to set up the wirings. There you go. So the first thing to identify or first thing to do is to look for the cables of the water pump, because that's the first thing that we need to install. So again, there are two RGB 5-volt 3 pins, one female and one male. So that's for the reason is for them to have an extension. And we will gonna sync it over to this SYCAT ARGB controller, wherein it has already a connector, female connector for RGB. So we're gonna use the male connector, RGB connector of the water pump, so that it will sync on the RGB controller. So make sure that the arrow is in line with the arrow on the connector of the RGB controller. So let's install the SATA for power supply so that they can provide power to the RGB lights. There you go. And we'll install or connect the RGB connector. So again, arrow to arrow. Make sure that you're connecting it correctly to avoid fire. So there I'm receiving a lot of or seeing a lot of videos wherein their RGB lights got burned, and this is one of the reasons, because sometimes they're using the 4 pins, which has almost the same um, size, but it has 4 pins and the other one has only 3 pins. So let's look for the extension of the header, which is the female, and attach it to the male connector of the fan 1. There you go. And the female of the fan 1 to be connected to the male plug of the fan 2. Again, arrow to arrow. There you go, and we just need to cover the one existing, but just in case that we need another connection for RGB, we can put it there or connect it there. There you go. So next is the fan. So we need to go to the other face of the CPU case and install this CPU fan extension wire. So I'm gonna place it on the main fan header and send the extension wire at the back. There you go. So next thing to do is to locate the fan header of the pump. So the fan header of the pump should be the one should be placed on the white header on the extension. There you go. So we need to place it on the white header. Pump terminal to the white socket, so that we can monitor the RPM of the pump whenever the CPU is gaining heat. So the fan 1 and fan 2 should be placed on the block fan header or socket, and that's good to go. We just need to organize the cables. So apologies for my arrangement of the cables. There you go. That's the least that I can do, but it looks better than earlier. So we need to test it and light it up. So this is the first time that we were gonna turn it on and see if it will sync onto the RGB connector. And yeah, it's successful. So we're just gonna remove the plastic cellophane. And see the true beauty of the RGB lights of the pump. So again, this is a dark flash twister VX240. We'll test the synchronization of the colors. So that's red, that's green, it's blue, then yellow. So we're all good, and it was successfully synced to the RGB controller. If you turn it on, it will sync up. Even if you turn it off, or any modes of the remotes that you will gonna choose, it will sync to the RGB lights of the pump and the RGB fans. So compared to the Evesky, it has only 2 connectors, which is a RGB fan header, and it like the lights won't dance. So it's just a steady RGB lights. So in comparison, like the temperature of the old one was 50 degrees for idle. I did try to stress this. It reached 84, I think, 84 degrees. So this is the new dark flash VX 240. Since it's 240 mm, it has two 120 mm fans, and the idle of the temperature is like 41 or 40-ish degrees Celsius. So it's 10 degrees cooler than the Evesky. There you go. I did try to stress this on Cinebench for video rendering, and the max temperature of the CPU was 76 degrees Celsius compared to 86 of the Evesky. So please watch our next video upload. We will gonna sync it to the motherboard, which has an Aura sync. We will gonna showcase how to install this RGB converter. And that's it. Thank you, and I hope I did help you. Thank you for watching. Bye for now and take care.